Okay, so let's go ahead and first we'll start looking on how disk diffusion, or it's what engine using in a MidJourney AI work on a back end. Of course, they're all different, and we will use it here very simplify, maybe sometimes oversimplify idea how it's work, but it is helping in the future to understand how to properly write prompts for us, how to do this text to achieve what we wanted to communicate with machine. Because if you are not even programmer, you are still programming AI. You're programming in a relaxed text and other things, but you tell actually computer what do you want to see, what to do. So first off, how does it work? It is actually generating a random noise and generating random kind of purling noise. So let me show you what I was meaning by this. First off, when you start, it will create a purling noise. It's kind of blob, it's all randomly, kind of like shadows, white, whatever is going on. And beside that, on the top, it will generate a smaller noise, teeny tiny noise. Of course, there will be kind of blend together, something like this. And what's happening after? It is I think it's a very genius things what people come up with. It is start looking for the pattern. It's like, if sometimes you look maybe on the clouds and you can see like, oh, I see maybe right here can be bunny with the ears or something. You start recognizing some object. So what's happening in this case, the AI look on this and using special denoise or things that are removing all of this noise that put before out, and at the same time try to go back compared. It's like, you squint your eyes and you look on this, and it's what AI, not squinting their eyes, but try to find, and it's run the reference, because to identify something we must run the reference against some different library. So in some way, let's look this way. So we have right here our input, and by the way, notice right here I have it kind of like cloudy with noise, and also have it image. And it's important because in MidJourney and other areas, you actually can start not just with the total random, you can also start with the image based. And you can see this image based was apply Perl. It's kind of make a mess with this, but it is a basic start. And similar things it will use if you do animations. But overall, keep it in mind, it can start with absolutely blank, no information, it's totally random seeded Perl noise and noise over this, or it can start with some references images. Okay, so this is our first step. After this, it's a apply special denoising function, and this is very interesting. Denoising is actually take and start remove noises. Okay, so what's happening next? We're going to kind of remove from denoise, and we're going to try to apply next. And let's go enable my all of those ones. And that's what right here you can see denoise going, remove it. And it's kind of at this point, try to go and verify. It says, hey, okay, let me take my cloud and move it a little bit up. And it's going and says, does it look what I'm looking for? Remove more noise, go back. And this is internal cycle between remove noise and make sharper before final result. This is what determine amount of detalization. Refer to the or how much calculational denoising will continue doing. And let's refer this to when you're in a MidJourney and you have a preview. So your preview will look like this, very small CPU power, very fast going over GPU power. And when you're going, let's enlarge this. So then it will start processing more and more. And when you say, I want max, so in max is have it more processing, and you'll have it even bigger, clearer result. So what is this cloud on the top doing? The one thing, how I said before, we look on a cloud and we think, do I see bunny? Do I see this? We're going with our memory, our reference. If you have a small child who never maybe in a life see elephant, again, just example, they look on a cloud, they will never recognize elephant in a cloud because they have no point of reference. So what this is cloud meaning, it is where does AI reference to? it is actually, because word based, it's come to different sources, like anywhere from stock photos publicly available on a Google. Some company, Adobe, I know they're working on something like this. Or what it does, you have it your stock photo, and you have it also, people was putting descriptions, or for example, they're putting a woman in a red dress. So you write as a keyword, red dress, woman in a cyberpunk or whatever. So, and we build this metadata, and we have a huge amount of that metadata already built. So it's a humans actually who build that references. What AI does, it's go back to this by the keywords or whatever, looking through all these thousands, 100,000 images, looking back, and says, hey, does it look somewhat through all of these images? Does it look close enough? Yes, if it's look close enough, let's continue, or let's redo other ones, and it's go back and forward. How many times going, or how look, or what library, it will depend on an engine that using. In some cases, you saw that people put it like ArtStation trending, for example. What is actually inside the MidJourney happening? It's look for these words and says, okay, I will prioritize and I will look on ArtStation what people publish there. So it will reference to this library or to some other library based on a keyword. So you can specify this way. As well, you can specify to specific artist. For example, the Ginger or Boris or some other ones, big or Rembrandt or whatever, any artist style, and it will look there in the library for that specific name and will apply this style. Actually, applying wasn't correct word. It will be denoising. It will be creating. One thing to understand, that whatever is creating, it is actually creating. It's not take one image and blend over another ones. However, it does reference, and in some cases, if you have it priority and very strong, I saw some people have it like iStock photo watermarks or other things, because it is reference very strong to specific, or maybe people use it just specific reference to a single image, and then is what will happen. But general, it is if you don't specify weight or other ones, what priorities what's giving, it will try to look alike. Again, this is way more complex, and if you're actually interested to look on some parameters, not necessarily even work with them, but just look around. Right here is example. This is Disco Diffusion. You can run on Colab, for example, and it's a notepads, people sharing and other things. But right here you can see how many parameters you can specify. You can even change code if you want to write your own. You have all these different models, and different models, it's meaning by denoising, or different libraries they can access and all this stuff. So you have very huge flexibility. This has become overwhelmed, but again, you can start and going with very simple things. It's for those who are interested to see how it's actually work, what it does. But with MidJourney, we don't need to worry about this. MidJourney for us will simplify some stuff, make it a little bit easy. We can use it some little bit parameters, like what do weight I want prioritize, what I don't want display, what I want to look, what style. So we can work with those prompts. But in a generic, this is, for example, work. So let's look on one example, the process, how it's work, Disco Diffusion. So you start with this, and you can see we have this big like blobs, Perlin blobs, and we have it all this noise apply over this. So this is our start point. This is dynamically generated randomly, so it's random seed. When you do next time, it will be different. It's why sometimes people says, hey, I put it exactly the same string, but it's total different result. It's because this is randomized. And actually, if you work with a Disco Diffusion, you can see they have a seed number. Seed number, it's refer what is randomization apply, because nothing really is random. So let's go ahead. The next first pass when it start to do, it's going, and it's, you can see it's create these blobs. Okay, and it was saying like alien planet, orange, cyan colors. So it's what my string was to this. And you can see it's already start prioritizing by the colors, but it's also try to identify. So it's creating this kind of like you have a very bad vision and you look on something and it's try to this look on details. As a passing in, you can see it's increasing resolution of this. It's denoising. Look on this. This is our with a noise, and this is a removing noise. Removing noise, applying specific colorization. Now we have more details, more noise removed from product, and so go on, and it's better and better details. Okay, and this is example one of them with the details was done. So it was kind of abstracting information giving, but overall you can see what's happening. And again, this is image, most likely it was a reference to some artwork, because it says art station, somebody creates something there, and it's going and try to figure out, does it look this way or that. So in this case, it's kind of important to understand that with the MidJourney, we have two options. We can have a total random generating seed, or we can render like this was reference to specific image. And I was a reference to one of my earlier work right here, this one. So this is image. I was reference inside here, and you can see it's kind of applied to this image. And so you can control that way. And this is what will determine our input parameter. And of course, after this, when we're going in, it will work with this. For example, again, here I specify alien planet, bright orange, like, or yellowish orange, cyan colors, complementary colors is what I want to work with, the landscape. So it's kind of going to work with this. The parameters will look a little bit later, how it's working stylizations. Also, you can specify more like no depth of field or sharper and so on. This is actually will look on that. But general, this is how the in a very simplified mode, okay? Very simplified, very basic, but at least you understand what's going on with the AI generated. And does it create art? I will have a different video on this opinion, but it is art. Actually, it's AI art, and you work with collaborations with AI. So it's a tool, you creating string and we're creating this art. So let's go ahead and continue looking on a prompt. So to tell MidJourney you want to create something for you, you actually need it specify in a special format. And this is how you communicate with a server with AI to let know what you wanted and what option format you want to do. So it's have multiple different commands. You can give it information, send on fast or relax mode, and so on. But one important one that is make all this magic, it's actually imagine. So you have it / imagine. This is command that is AI will recognize. Next we have it space. And after this, optionally, you can put a reference, and usually reference, it is reference to the image that you want to use. And previously, if you remember, I showed how you can use the image as a base seed or multiple images. So you just separate them by the spaces and you add 1, 2, 3, and how many images you wanted. And this will be reference to some specific. After this, you will use it your text. And text is kind of almost like free-handed. So you can write, for example, alien planet, dark lighting. You can specify settings. Where is this? You can, I found the actions not necessarily work very well. For example, I'll show you a bit later when I did actions with carrots, bunnies attacking carrots. It does not come up. It's a funny looking, but it's not necessarily actions work. So preferably just descriptive things. It does work when you put like dark lighting, fog on the ground, and so on. So it's work with this very well. You could also specify specific color set. It's work as well, like dark green colors or a palette you want to work with this. And very well, it's working also styles. So what I mean by that, you can actually go ahead and just say watercolor. So it will go with watercolor style. Again, I have examples of the styles. We can look on them when I run to the renders, and we can see what styles will apply or what you can specify. And another big ones, it is you can specify the name of the artist which style you'd like to do. So it's not just a painting style and techniques, it's also the style of the art. And in this case, for example, you can say I want this, and it's a mix because Ginger, he was done in oils, but the watercolors, so anyway, it's different. But you can do this, you can specify, and that is actually work very well. Remember, if you even used exactly the same text all the time, due to the random seed generation, you will always receive a little bit different result. And this is actually what is interesting about this. Kind of almost like luck and chance there, but it is, you can minimize this luck and chance quite a bit by writing properly or descriptive to understand what machine accepting. And usually, personally, I'm doing in around this order. So I will have it, if I have it any reference, it must be go first. Next, I will write with a commas or period, descriptive what I wanted to, what colors I want to use it, and last, usually I put it what styles I want to use it. It is not necessary, you can do in this way, but you can also specify them in the options as a weight, but generally it's what I do for my own self. So what I was saying about options, in options, you have it space, and after this you have it dash dash, and you put it specific options. List of all of those options, and it's a very good list. It's available in documentation in MidJourney, so if you want it. The important things, one, it's number one important, I think, it's a EAR, it's a resolution. For example, if you render, it will render by default square. However, if you want widescreen, you can have it 19 by 6, 16 by 9, or you can have it 9 by 16, or 2 by 1, or 1, and whatever. But the most important it is this format, and it will look, if it does not write way down or wrong letters, it will give you error. So you have it dash dash AR space, and after you have it number, column number. So this will work this way. Some non-standard resolutions will not allow you to use max resolution render. For example, if you have it 19 by 6, you want to have it options to render on the max. For some reason, something that's not yet there, but if you're using safe proportions, that will work very well. And another one's kind of important actually, it's a no. So no, it's exclusion. For example, like if I don't want any people or any humans this, I can say no people. And then is, again, AI, when it's reference, when it start denoising, they look for those options. If it see, oh, it's look like a person, no, let's change, let's work on this. So it will work on this way. So this is actually, it's the imagine string. This is our commands, how we can format and send. Of course, if you have more questions or see how other people, because some people may address two specific areas. And one thing would actually, I forgot to add, you can also add here two areas where you want it. For example, you can go ahead and let me go type in. You can say art station trending. So, and it's when you add, like, for example, ArtStation, you remember it says it's got the cloud with a reference. So if it's a look for ArtStation trending, it says, oh, okay, let me go and denoise to create art with reference to these specific places. So you can also specify what you would like area to look, maybe like iStock photos or some other ones areas. Adobe, I don't know if they have access to this, unlikely. It's mostly work with the public domain images, public accessible stuff. But you can also specify in which area you want to kind of system look on that. So this is actually our text strings, how we can create it. Now let's look on some examples what we have here. And this example of the styles more than the artist. And artist will work very similar if you apply it. And I actually should just go ahead, create a tree and try different styles, see how they work. So this is just generic. If you type, hey, I want the tree in a grass field, this is what string. And by the way, you notice right here, it's actually say full string, which is very nice. As well, if you're more interested in what you can do with the string, you can go always to MidJourney app feed all, and subscribers can have it access to this. And right here, you can also just over and you can see what prompt people done, you can click and save, copy prompt itself and everything. So it's covered full information, which is kind of nice. Or if you're interested, you can look for specific person if you like how they can create or what they do. For example, if you go like Geek at Play, which is me, so you can go click and you can see this is currently what I was doing, my feed. It does not show everything, it's just some of the elements, but you can preview and same if you like it. Like for example, right here you can see a beautiful island forest, dark fog, rain, ginger. So you can look on this, you can copy, you can see all permutations that was creating and based from the seed and so on. So you kind of can follow person if you need it to specific it. But this is how sometimes I look what people use at strings and why it does this string or priority set. Because if you follow just style and this what we saw before, if you follow the simple rules of the how you create a specify, you can very easy create result that you're expecting and not random result. So let's go back to our plants, and right here tree render on a grass, and you can see it's very nice grass basic tree render. So if we specify just the word, we add watercolor. So this is what we're getting with the watercolor, and definitely distinguish watercolor. So that is our effect. So next, let's go look on realism. It's what I was called, it's real. And you can see it does look a little bit realism. Let's go next on impressionism. And this definitely impressionism. You can see the points, how they're creating. Let's go look on abstract style. Again, all what has done, I create the same words and I just change on the end, put it watercolor, realism, impressionism, abstract. I think this is another abstract again one. We also can specify like Chinese style, China. So it actually will add texture to the paper. You can see it's creating this in specific style. You can have it like pop art, cartoon style. And in some cases, sometimes some styles, MidJourney won't work as good as maybe some other applications. But again, they're here, you can use them. Ghibli Studio, you can also specify like cartoon animation studio style or whatever, so it's well going. You're not necessarily locked to specify person style. This you can like animation studio, and actually right here you can see we even have it, they put it person or something. So in this case, if I don't want it any, I will use this dash no people, so it will be removing there. And right here again abstract, and it's trending on ArtStation. I add to this one, and you can see it's a little bit different, but it's have it in a style what popular, what people like it, and other things. So overall right here is, and one nice things when you render, when you put the submissions inside the MidJourney, it will create 4 previews for you, so you can actually select, because remember it is creating all this random and very fast. It is not very high details, obviously it's something will change, but it's give you general shape and overview. So right here again, this was I think Ghibli Studio. We're going to cartoon style, and you can see all these different version of cartoon style was applied. And I did select some of them, like I select this one to render bigger so we can preview better. Okay, again, there's a Ghibli, another one studios. There's a Chinese style. You can see overall. The reason is why I'm showing this 4. You can see how they are different, but they are very good. Keep it in the same style, like abstract style. Okay, we have it pop art style. Another abstract, we have another impressionism, which is kind of very cool. I think this one may be even more impressionism looking. We have it realism photos, and another one's just grass field with them trees. So you can see all these different type rendering styles we can apply it. Okay, so we look on some of the how they imagine command, the structure, what prompt, some results, some options. I think right now let's look more hands-on and see what result we can getting when we work with the MidJourney. So we'll go inside. Before we start, there are a couple areas I would kind of like to point you towards. And the reason is just to expand, just to create more if you want to learn. However, it's not required. You can just have a jump and have fun with this, and that's what actually happened. At first I'm going, I have fun with this, and as I'm getting bored, I'm like, okay, let's define some new stuff. So I'm going there and I look on new areas what to do. So well, before we actually start typing in, let me show you those areas where I highly recommend when you get bored to go check them out. First, of course, you want to access to feed for MidJourney community feed. And this is I think you need to subscribe to access to this area, so you'll have your own feed in this. And it does work to me if you think you really want to work with this. $10 a month, at least it's a basic. And I was review some plans, what they can do. I'll put a link below to the video where I done this, where you can look a little bit more about what each plan offer and what worth or not to you. Personally, I'm right now on the $30 plan, and I'm already down to, I think, like almost all my fast time is gone, because I like this. I'm gone over this. Previous time I used to pay sometimes even for per render, so we'll see how it's going right now. But general, I'm on the $30 plan. They have a $10 minimum one, if I'm right, and you have it also introduction one, which give you 25 minutes of GPU render time. But we'll look on this. I'll put a link below, and you can go ahead and check that one. So places to go. Number one, community feed. The reason is why this is the one that's selecting, and it's give you best examples what people do. And by the way, wherever you render, wherever it's creating, whatever strings, it's publicly available. So you can go ahead and access and view. With exception, you can pay additional, I think, $10 to make it private, so nobody can see your feed or whatever line you put it in. But personally, I don't even care. I do for some other works, for the concept art, for the movie and other things, and it's people more than welcome to look, because this is primarily this idea generator. It's not actually physical concept art, it's idea generator to me. But general, if you want, you can clock. But overall, if you go to the community feed right here, you can see, oh, look how beautiful it is. Okay, you can find some very nice, very good render, and mostly let's click like on this. It's what I will do. I'll look and it says, okay, this is a string what they're using. If you saw before, remember the Chibli they're using, okay, and they are also using the artist reference, so we can look on this line. But general, this is what happened. And if I like this and I want to in the future use it, I always bookmark. So I bookmark, so it will add it to my list. I'll show my bookmarks in the future. If I want to go back, I can preview and change. One thing, of course, it's tell me what it is, when was rendered, what parent, and sometimes you can see variations was created out of this. So some of them actually look even better. But again, this is variation permutations you can call from this one, from the parent. Tell me what the resolution, ratio, does not even showing, but we can calculate by dividing this. And again, this is nice full information. You can also see what line, how people construct. Of course, if I copy this line, and we'll do later, I will copy this line, I will put it in, and you can see it won't be even like this, because again, refer to first part of this video, that is random generated. So it will be generating from this Perlin noise from random generation. So anyway, this is number one place I will recommend for you to go for the inspiration to see how line build and everything. There also, you can always access as a subscriber to your own feed, and this is another thing I recommend. It's if you're going to home and inside, by the way, personal feed, it's when you subscribe to somebody and you can see, just monitor what those people created, so it will pop up on your personal feed. But in a home right here, you can see what I was doing. Okay, so you can see what I was playing around at this moment, and you can actually scroll and see all of your nice things about this. What I do like personal feed, majority I can go inside, click on an image. If I like this image, I can download it by simply click save with prompt. Save with prompt Very nice options because it tells me who created, and you can see the full link included the seed, random seed. So I have it full information how to recreate this image, which is kind of very nice in this case. And it's same, you can add bookmark if you like your own. And the reason is why you want bookmark sometimes yours, because if you produce a lot of images, like for example, I have it 46,000 lifetime images produced. Good luck to go through all of them and find, but if I think I will need reference or come back, I can bookmark them and access. As well, I can rank in my own and sort by the ranking as well. And of course, you have it your search and you have it your tags. So you have multiple ways you can sort and access your information. But this is a nice way to access to your image. And the main reason is because if you're going to channel, and there's our Discord channel, and for example, if for some reason you don't have access, but you're going like in general and you try to post here, you can see it's a lot of different people render at the same time, and they will just start scrolling and lost. So you lost everything. However, I show you in a second how to avoid this, how to create your own private channel so nobody can, so it does not spam you and everything. But it's nice to have access to them because they're a great inspiration to see what people typing in, what tags they're using, and what result they have. So instead you experiment, you let other people to experiment with the strings and see what result they'll come up with this. Okay, so we'll look on the profiles, we'll look on community feed. The other things what I do recommend, if you look on the side, you have it options here. You have it tools, dictionary, styles, and you have it FAQ. So let's go look on the library. You have the single images, so you can look what is will create when you a quando or some specific. So this is our dictionary. You can see what words, what they produce, help you to kind of identify what is actually making. Reference images, this is by the style. So if you try to find like right here a little bit more Renaissance, Francisco Bussolete, or other ones, you can go over and see what the style. If you don't want to go through the Google, you can just go right here and use the reference of specific artist inside your work. And you remember on construction on the strings that you can just copy and put it there and see what come up. So this is very beautiful, helpful. And of course, the manual for those people who sometimes ask a lot of questions, but want to learn more. So here's a manual with the commands that is allowed you to work with, interact with the MidJourney, and basic commands again you can go over, which is majority. Of course, we'll use an imagine info, and I'm using also fast and relax. Those is probably two foremost common. And again, they explain right here how to do what you can use it structure that we looked before, and some of those dash commands that is you can kind of use it, try play around. Personally, like I say, I found I use it mostly. Two of them, no, and also AR. You can also try to play maybe with a seed and specify if you have any specific seed that you want to repeat it and reuse it again. So you can do this way, but it is up to you. Usually I don't, I'm just creating that way. Okay, so this is important. Manuals, references, profiles. Let's look now inside the Discord MidJourney. And first, I hate it. I did not like how it's done in using Discord. I prefer a separate application, but after use it, I actually found it's more useful. And primarily my biggest problem before was because I'm going to some channel and I'm typing and somebody typed more and it starts scrolling and it was frustrated. Okay, when you're on a trial, you have done options. So when you are paying subscriptions, what I recommend to do is see right here, MidJourney Bot. If you click on MidJourney Bot, it's open for you. But if you right click, it's have it, oops, okay, let me go right here, right click, you have it options and you can message. So if you click on a message, you will open separate channel, and it is MidJourney Bot, which it will act exactly the same as other channels, but it's just you. and it's no problem. You put it your items, you can come back after days and days and it still be here. So you can see it does not scroll, and you can see when currently I was playing around with the HR type effect, just creating different forests. Just see overall how the styles will apply. So just have fun with this, as well as creating different characters and so on. So, and this is what I recommend for you to do. If you're on subscriptions, be sure just open both, and it's very easy. Again, how to do. So let's go back here to original, and we'll go and just MidJourney, right click, go to message, and that will open. Notice also, because I'm using browser, I don't use it application itself, because for me, I have it multiple tabs. And I like this because in one, I can preview, I can go on the different channels, I can do other stuff. But at the same time, as it's render and preview on one, I can go very fast and type like info and get it all info on what I have it. So currently, let's look on the info a little bit closer. And you can see I have it, I have it only 2.3 hours left. But June 15th, so I have it about 7 days left. So 1 week, which I probably will use it enough on this one. But mostly I'm working with a relax mode. And right here you can see I use it 4,500 image creating lifetime. Majority of them in the relax mode. It's why it does worth for me to go and pay, because it unlimited use. So it's what I prefer to use it. Okay. Info, let's now start kind of typing and we'll see what's going on. So at this moment I want to go ahead, type / imagine, and you can see it's pop up bunch of prompts. Imagine that's what we're going to use it. Be sure you type it. If you don't type imagine, it will be just as a chat going. So imagine it's a / it's command type. And let's go type in, and let's go, what is it? Landscape, forest, winter. So we specify what I want. I want landscape, I want winter time, falling snow. Usually falling snow, it may work because I find that actions, if you like exploding or something, sometimes they don't work, sometimes they work okay, so we can play around this. And of course mine, I have it, you see pop up. This is just spell checker. If you did not yet notice, I have a slightly English accent from Russia. So, and then for me, spelling is not my strongest part. So thanks to Grammarly or other things that's helped me, but I need to be careful because sometimes I override what I want to say. And just let you know, this is pop up. If you notice, it is from Grammarly for me. Okay, so let's go ahead. We have it landscape, forest, winter, falling snow, haze. I'm just describing what I want to do, to showing here. So this is what I will usually do. I don't have any reference image. I don't want to use it. But next I want to say comma, and let's specify. So I want to have it high details. This does work. If you put it higher details, so it's try to add them. Okay, high details. Let's go put it. If you can put like ultra realistic, hyper realistic, photorealistic, whatever you really like it. Photorealistic. We can do cinematic. This is all descriptive, but it's also what's happening. Remember this chart or the reference. So when it's going to denoise, when it start processing this, it's going to the cloud, and it's look for samples. It's going against something, and if those samples have these words inside as keywords, it's what we'll use it to create. So if some of them have it now cinematic, it will look on this and will prioritize using more as cinematic wherever people put it tags. It does not guarantee it will be cinematic, but it's give it some little bit weight in this case to creating. Okay, so let's just try this one, and one more I want to do. Well, we'll skip it. Let's go put ArtStation afterwards, and I want //AR. It's a ratio, and we're going 16:9. So I want landscape. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to just take all of these, copy, so we can use it second time. And let's go ahead, click OK, and notice when I start, it will going in relax mode until it does in the relax mode. And personally, I do like it because I can put it, you can put about 3 progress and 10 in queue, so you can batch kind of almost images. You can do this and go do your stuff, so you don't need just stare on this. So let's go ahead, create another cinematic, but right here what I want to do, I want to put it art station trending. So this is will be for our art station. So we'll see what's different. Will be right here. Oops, and notice what's happening. I did not put it as what I says imagine. So we needed to do this. We needed to do imagine. Put it this one, and it's landscape. We don't want landscape, we want landscape. Okay, so we'll put it there, and let's go station trending. So we'll do that one. Okay, and let's do one more. We'll do imagine again. Okay, I'm going to paste what we have before. We'll put it landscape cinematic, and instead this one I'll put HR there. Okay, so let's go ahead. So at this moment we have 3 of them going. We have one, it's that with just cinematic. Another ones we add art station, so we kind of specify what area I want to look at, and another ones I specify what style of the I want to do. We can also just create for fun. Let's go another ones. Let's go imagine. We'll go same things, landscape. I should actually just copy and put it properly. Landscape, cinematic, and let's go says watercolor. Different style of art. And you'll notice I'm going to get it. It's comment says, hey, we already have 3 in progress right now working, but this one it's a queue. So, and that's what I tell you. You can have it. Okay, let's go type right there. You can see we have and a queue 1 job and 3 currently running. So depend, because I'm right now running in a relaxed mode. Right here you can see it's a relaxed mode. It is lower priority. So I'm just going pause right now this video till they're all completed so we can review them. If you want, you can use the fast mode. Personally, I prefer use it fast mode when I need it upscale, when I need a highest resolution, so I can use it in other areas. And for the previews for this does not really work, and it's work quite a bit relatively fast somewhat for me. Okay, so we see already a couple processes. The problem is with this preview, they don't give it any details, but it's already look nicer. So what I'm going to do is just select one like this top one. Even it's a little bit warmer color. Yeah, let's go take top, and you'll notice we have it U1, U2, it's upscale, V it's variations, and this is just reset it, seed and do different. So we'll do same. We'll just click upscale 1, we'll click on variations, and let's just as example reseed it. So we'll see what's come up with this. Let's go another ones where I was using cinematic, and I like it 3, so we'll upscale where we can preview what's going on with those ones. Again, let's go ahead and okay, so after time all of this render is completed. It's took about 20 minutes. I'll show you what it's take 20 minutes on relax mode to do when we go over, and after I will switch to the fast mode, and we'll see on a fast mode how faster it will be. It's actually quite a bit faster, but again, many times when you just doing something else in work, like for example working compositing or anything, and you may put it on another screen, relax mode is work just excellent. Okay, first we have it landscape, forest, falling snow, haze, high details, photorealistic cinematic. Let's go look closer at what is looking, and we can see right here we have it trees, we have it pine trees and other trees. So I decided to go with pine trees because other ones will create it. Below we have it same with art station trending, and you can see it's a little bit more interesting details I think right here, and you'll notice I upscale them so we can look a little bit closer. Upscaling also will create more details, and again refer to beginning of this video. We can see how what's happening in a workflow, in a cycle. So we're like on a beginning cycle here. Let's go down below. Notice right there, I forgot to put it space. Even mentioned before, you need to put space before. If you don't, it just did not recognize and make them all square. So I rerun this actually later with a space. So we'll look on those ones a little bit closer. Here's a close up on this one. First image, upscale 1. Let's look closer what we have it. And we do actually have it somewhat kind of like falling snow maybe. So it's not bad. It's generate very good. We have it on the trees. So it does read descriptions. At least it's identifiable. It's a snow, it's a winter, it's a forest. So this is actually our primary goal is accepted. So I was checking how many runs here. This is our watercolor, and watercolor, look on that. It does look exactly like watercolor. This is I found very strong part of the MidJourney. It is using different styles, so you can specify specific style, and it's will going in this way. We'll do this in later with some portrait stuff, but overall you can see right here we created. And this is upscale from the one ArtStation trending, and you can see it's got more details on the leaves, so it's look more natural really, and it's because it's a reference to the different art, so we kind of specified what style or what reference do we want it. Next we have it, if you remember, I gone on the top and I did a rerun, use a different seed, and in this case, actually no, sorry, this one I was run to the not different seed, this was versioning. So and it's, for example, I took it the first image right here, and I says let's go take this image and on this image, and let's go take version based on this image, so we won't have any other ones. And if I'm right, this will be our versioning based on this. Somewhat similarity, but a little bit different. So it does how it's work in this case. It's take about halfway, about 50-40% of the pre-processed image, and base it on that. Will add additional details. So it's similar things if you do animations. It's kind of like the creating animation things, and maybe I'll show you after how it does with animations, but you'll notice it is very similar to this, created only with details. So next we'll have it forest, landscape, high details, cinematic, photorealistic. I think this is redone, so you can see the different models coming here. It's one when we recycle, or re-rendering. Okay, that is our close-up a little bit on the watercolor details. Texture of the papers, texture of watercolor actually pass very well together. Sometimes I notice it's have it like almost letters on the sides, almost like somebody's signature. It's maybe try to reference to some image with a signature or something, and it's created. This is our cinematic photorealistic upscale, the another ones. Again, it's look very nice. I like how they come up with the snow, but right here we do have it actually on ArtStation. I like a bit better. We have a sparkle of the snow sparkles, so it's a little bit, and fog, see, like on the ground. Actually come up very nicely down on this case. This one was interesting because I put it HR Ginger or Ginger, whatever you can call, and then if you know, he is one who created the Aliens movie stylization, who did all this design for them and everything, very highly recognizable. So that is our forest. Notice his style will apply unbelievably in this case. So if we look closer on the forest, you can see it's look like almost something with alien, not exactly, but stylization is there. So it's very impressive how actually the MidJourney does this. MidJourney does this way. Okay, so at this point, if we look right now, let's go info, press one more time. You can see I'm in a relax mode. To switch between relax or fast, you just type /fast. This is switch me to the fast mode. If you're on the demo kind of, you cannot switch, you can only pay subscription. You can switch between the relax or fast mode. Relax, it does not count against my hours right here, but it will count against my unlimited. So different is only like upscale right there. Oh, let me show you. Let's go back to relax mode. We'll switch back. So point is Right here, it's 1024 by something something, so it's a resolution about square. 1024 by 1024, it's a square. This one will be 1024 by, I think, 1300 or something, a little bit different size. If I try to upscale to max, it's come and give me, it won't be upscale in a relaxed mode, so you need to be in fast. So if you want a better quality, bigger, you need to use it your hours for this. And also it will provide quite a bit faster. So let's go ahead. We'll switch to the fast mode, and the fast mode allowed me to utilize priority on GPU faster, but it will count against my assigned hours. And what we're going to do, we'll go to imagine, and you know what, let's try face. We'll see, and it's also help us to see how we can copy. So if I'm going to MidJourney right here, we'll have this face. I'm just going to click on this preview, and notice if we click down, we can say, hey, let's copy the prompt. So I'm copy prompt, and I'm notice this is around, well, kind of maybe 2 by 1. So it's a, yep. So let's go do this way. We go back here, we'll go prompt, paste, whatever here, even it's paste all is Japanese, whatever. And we'll go dash dash AR, let's go with the 1 by 2. Actually, I think in 16, yeah, about 1 by 2. It's give it as portrait view. Illustration, beautiful anime girl. Illustrate professional artist, trending on Pixie. So let's go ahead, press enter. You'll notice it's waiting for start, but because I am right now in the fast mode, it should go quite a bit, little bit faster. We can process after, and there you go. We have it now, image processing. Okay, so it's already done. It's very fast. You can see it's not exactly the same. It's kind of similar style, but not same. It's because different. Some of them definitely have it problem with the faces, but some of them right here semi-symmetrical, so it's not bad. We lost a little bit arm right here, but this one we can have it arm. So this one I think a little bit more accurate, but what we are going to do, like use the permutation from this face, because I kind of like it better with full head. So next what we're going to do, it's version 4. We click on the versionings, and it's again, it will take a little bit time, but it should go very fast, and it'll give it us different variations, versionings on that image, and we can so on. We can keep on going till it does this. Let's go do one thing. Let's go call imagine. We'll run this, and we'll just, for some reason it does like a beautiful word, or it's what people type in, beautiful lady and rococo time. So we'll just try something different. This one thing, how I said before, what is I found work very good, it is symmetrical, because it's a try kind of put it both on the symmetrical on the edge. So we'll put it high details. So what we want to do, high details, ultra realistic. You can use it different engines, referring, and again, the AI does not use these engines. What it, again, it's a reference by the keywords. So it's meaning if I put it here, Unreal Engine, it's meaning somebody who created some other word or other things, and they have a tag Unreal Engine, it will try to compare style against those rendering. Same, some people say, why I have it like, some people put it Octane or some other ones. It's just because they render to the specific areas. Again, it does not utilize this render engine, does not do it. It's just a reference to art of this in creating similarity in that case. So let's go next. So we add those ones. We can add trending. Just example, let's go trending on, and you know what, I'll just take this top one. So I never tried that before. So we'll try there, and dash dash AR, and I want it 9 by 16. So we'll do portrait. The one other things is kind of very interesting. And I'll show you maybe after. So for that one, yeah, let's go just copy this line. So we'll go copy. And just one word could change us quite a bit for us what we want to do. We'll go ahead, press enter. It will be processing. And just as imagine, so we'll do imagine same things. Only right here after it's symmetrical. Let's go even on a Rococo time. Comma cyberpunk. Mixing is very, very interesting, and sometimes you can go very crazy. For example, let's go imagine, and we have it furry, fuzzy, Terminator, Godzilla head. So we'll just total creating very weird things, Godzilla head. And we can also, this is specify of our character. Yes. So let's go next and says, hey, what I want is character. And we can say standing middle of destroyed city. Explosions around. Depth of field. So this is depth of field. What it does, it will create for us kind of blurry background. Hopefully AI will be smart enough recognize the main character, so it will be kind of focusing on this. Again, we'll do it ultra details because it's worked very good. We're going to create so ultra details. Let's go to photorealistic. The another things is a kind of interesting if you put like a retro look. Actually, let's go try with retro. It will use somewhat pasteurization 1950 effect. I don't know how it will go against that, but retro photoreal. I think that will work. And for this one, we'll go here. Let's go to landscape 16:9. And I think that should work. Explosions, explosions around, explosion and sparks. Sparks. Okay, smoke. So that should come out right here. That should work just good. Okay, and we'll see what come up. It's totally weird things, but it could be fun. As that working, let's go look back what we have it. So here is our result. This is quite a bit symmetrical. I do like how this come up. Definitely problem with the facial right here, symmetrical. Let's go see what's happening. And this one again was beautiful portrait of lady in Rococo time, symmetrical, high details, ultra realistic, trending on a pixel, whatever site it is. And this has actually come up not bad. Look right here. This is what I say. If you have a portrait, sometimes it's split for some reason, like we end up with twins or I don't know, something weird look. This one somewhat interesting actually. This is could be with the long neck. Same does not work, but this one come up good. And when it's come up good, so we'll go to upscale. Be sure it's work here. Same, I'm going to upscale probably. I know there's two faces. This one, let's go with upscale number 2. And let's go look. This is cyberpunk. Look how big different. This is a Rococo time. Technically, this is not a Rococo, so it's whatever people mean. It's a little bit different. So it's more as maybe a Baroque or even closer to Victorian. But okay, well, we'll take for whatever it's taken. So let's go right here, and you can see cyberpunk. It's ad stuff. Look on this neck, beautiful ad. Same. So it's mixed styles. This I found it's work very beautifully, and mostly for if you need like concept art ideas. This is excellent when you merge and you look. So I think this one work interesting. Again, it's not even symmetrical, doesn't look, but we'll go ahead, upscale this one and see what's happening. Oh, there is our Godzilla. It's already done. You can see how faster it's working. And that is, look, somewhat too much information. And that's what I find out. Sometimes kind of get confused if you put mix together, and right now it does not look anything I wanted. But goal overall, depth of field. You can see applied. We have it somewhat Godzilla with Fury, Terminator. So it's try to take all of these images and blend them together. So be careful when you specify fuzzy, Fury, Terminator, Godzilla. So it's all this stuff. Instead, if we just says, imagine Godzilla destroying Mystic City. Okay, so if we just Godzilla, just spell properly. Yep. Okay. So if we just specify like this, okay. I think I put it wrong. Godzilla. There you go. I think it's like this, Godzilla. Properly? Yep. Okay. So if we put like this, Godzilla destroying futuristic city, and let's go again. Depth of field. Okay, oops, wrong button. High details. The realistic way, avoid some other mix in this case, and we'll go to ArtStation trending. Let's go to AR again, 16:9. So we try this one. Let's go run, and we'll see when it's running this way. Okay, now let's look closer what we have from our render till it's running around. This close up, look on this eyes. It's what it says, eyes, 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 and we have something mutant going on right here on the skin. But generally, this is will have the problem when we're realistic. When we do illustrations, it will be totally different. You'll see it different. But again, eyes will have a problem with this. But for the concept and basic, I can overlay face, fix it eyes, so I can use this actually for the concept art, and it's not perfect. Same right there. If we upscale, you can see we lost the nose that we don't see before, so some details is losing. But at least it's somewhat look as illustrated. Again, concept art. Let's go look on our cyberpunk, and this one is same problem. This is look like maybe yeah, there's something wrong with cyborg and plants. Okay, it is more like a Borg, maybe from Star Trek or something. And I think the piece of mouth or whatever coming another face. It does not. MidJourney sometimes have a problem with these long ones images. But it is interesting, something new, never existed before. And right here we have it, our Godzilla. And I think that is actually come very good. Like this one's coming very nicely. So let's go ahead, maybe increase it. I don't see hands right there, hands right this area, but I think the 2 was looking kind of nice. Okay, and till you're doing all this fast render, let's just verify how much actually it's take energy. So what's right here? It was remaining time 2.37, so 2 hours 37 minutes. Okay, right now it's finish render, and we'll see how much this fast time just to test without even final render, how long it is perform quite a bit faster, and I don't need even pause, so it's going quite a bit faster. But after this, we'll see how much actually it took of the fast time. And that's the reason why I like to use the relax mode versus fast time. So I can spend my fast time on the highest resolution images what I want, because this is all what it just tests and probes, and nothing of this actually will be useful in this time. Okay. Okay, so that is completed. Let's go type info and see what we have it, and we have a 2.1. So it took about 20 minutes maybe plus of my time, which is what is I spent before, 20 minutes on the render. So it's try to maybe similarity how much you wait, whatever. But again, I do not like spend my fast time on this. So we're going back to relax mode, switching to unlimited use render. But it's just interesting to watch. Okay, let's look preview what we have it. Oh, this is somebody took blowtorch to put Godzilla. It's look like maybe some of my kids did that. But it is highly recognizable, kind of, I don't know, slimy. It does not look like Godzilla to me. But you see the difference between when you look on the preview here, it's very hard to see some details, and when you upscale, so it's come up. Overall, it is A little bit work differently. If we put this in another ones like DALL-E 2, another ones will come up with more accurate kind of view. I found overall that MidJourney work very, very good with landscapes, with some machinery, with some other stuff. That is like great illustrations, everything, spaceships, other things. However, whatever we're going with work with faces, whatever we're going to work, actually this one I'm surprised does not, let's go upscale 4. But yeah, when we work with the faces, when we work with animals and other ones, then we'll have this weird looking bunny with fuzzy carrots, some mutations. Then we have it, these elements. Of course, the aliens and other ones will come up very good because it's effect. But in some case, like right here, look, this is look better in a small preview till we're going to higher, and now we start having problems. Those details added. Actually, I think on her neck we did not have this effect right here. For some reason it just add like this eye or something on her neck. We could have it light scale redo, which is reduce some details, and that's reason is why they have it, because we may don't want some of detalizations. They remove it, go back to preview, so we'll see that will take a little bit time to work on this, but generally it is options. Okay, so right here render 1, let's go check what we have it, and it's kind of okay. Its nose still be look a little bit weird now versus small ones. Sometimes the details do not go as accurate to the facial, but it is have a problem with the face. And I think this one is going my down details, so we'll look if it will come up better. Okay, so let's go ahead, and what we're going to do, we're looking on this, which is upscale, make variation. We'll look and see like details. It does have a teeny tiny details, but problem with eyes and problem with this kind of neck. And here, let's go, when we did it light upscale reduce, so it's reduced some details, and I think this is look quite a bit better. So we fix some of those details, reduce some of the sharpness, but overall smoothness little bit applied. And in this case, it's maybe work better. Just keep it options, so you have it upscale. If you don't like it, you can switch to the different variations, kind of, or different detalization, so we can reduce actually instead increasing the detalizations. Okay, so next let's go ahead and just go over some other works I done. Have fun. We look on some of my bunnies, look on a carrot, some mutations, what's happening, and more in details in a string. What have I done before with the work, and see what we come up with MidJourney on this. So the MidJourney have their own strings and weaknesses. So let's look on some of them with a prompt string that maybe help you. The biggest string, I think, it's in creating these art looking landscapes. I found they work stunning. I mean, they're looking incredible realistic. Okay, some of them they look very arts kind of previews, so you can have it all as different. You can create it. Very nice for the concept art if you're creating preview landscapes, or example some cyberpunk city, you know, preview, or any streets. Overall, it actually does a very good job, and I think its reason is how the system work inside, how identify, because what we see here, it is just straight lines, bright points, and our brain, again, remember, this is like you look on a cloud, yes, and our brain try to translate and work on this. Okay, the fantasy, some illustrations work very well with this. Okay, so we have it in a space one kind of fighting. You can see any kind of somewhat, I think, illustrational type art, it's more working. Photorealism does not work very well, and faces, it's very, very hard to get right one. You can have very funny faces, and in some cases you can also just merge, like for example This is, I think, string was human, dog, human with a cyber eyes. Okay, and this is what created. So in some cases you can have it symmetrical, but generally if you try to create some creatures like puppy, okay, it is something come from the nightmare, even if you have it like puppy from Backlog or other things, or for example fluffy bunnies hunting for the carrots. It is kind of, I think, more look as a mutation maybe. Some carrots is very furry and it's look very funny, I think, but generically you can see it's very disturbing in some cases. Funny but disturbing. But again, if you are artists, you can take just like those ears. I probably will take and replace. I will do compositing, but generally you can see it does not work as well with the faces. It's work okay with the human faces, and for example right here I try to create the best beauty in unknown universe. So this is, I think, was best beauty in, no, this is unknown universe. Okay, this is an unknown universe. So but you can see it's have a kind of interesting perception of the beauty, but generally it's you put it the strings and you can create it, but it is try to recognize face. Okay, if you put it like Miss Universe, it's done a little bit different. Example right here, this is Miss Universe. Well, I don't know what universe they come from, but it's what AI was thinking. But you can see the struggling with the faces, struggling with human figurines, and it's actually the DALL-E 2 that is supposed to be photorealistic. They actually not allowed you to render human faces for some different reasons, but we'll see how they handle this one. You do see sometimes people succeeded in some creating some faces or other things, and that is again based on random. The one tag you can give it symmetrical, and I found out that is would help. And symmetrical, it's not just would help here. Symmetrical also will work with okay, let me find for you. Symmetrical will work with like creating butterflies. Example, when I was creating cyber punk butterflies, or cyber, I think it's cyber LED butterflies, and I was using tag symmetrical, and you can see in this case it actually did a very good job. The other it does very good job if you try to create and again it's a personal, but if you try to create any monster foods, for some reason it's creating beautiful monster foods. But again, that is non-symmetrical blending, and you can see it's come up with very funny kind of stuff. So this is, you can experiment, but generally landscapes, building, towers, forests come up very good. Anytime when you want to create any human face and you ask for the most beautiful, you maybe end up with different perspective, different look on the lovely and sorry, just loving different perspective on the beauty in this case. But personally, I found I like to use this. It is in my compositing works, looking for the backdrops. For example, right here I have some different project, and this is again landscape, and you can see the reason is why successful. It's a use this abstract building, hard coding kind of look overall. Again, universes, something liquefied galaxy, some reference to the artwork. And when we're going with the people, we will have some other problems. Even it seems like I selected purposely the one that is look a little bit more symmetrical. It's still okay for the concept, but as standalone, I don't think it is working very well. And again, right here example was pinup, atomic punk pinup, I think this was, and you can see problem right here. You can always experiment with something like fuzzy Terminator. I think it's kind of come up very interesting in this case. This is another one's variation of the fuzzy Terminator. So some of those, I think they were kind of interesting working in this case. steampunk options is actually work very well. I think it's apply gears and everything, and I have a lot of the rendering. But overall, again, if you go with the animals, that's supposed to be border collie, okay? And same like right here, this, I don't know, looks skunky sheep, but it is supposed to be border collie. But general, this is what you're getting. If you start mixing a little bit more stylized, sometimes come out better. For example, if you try to make cyberpunk bunny, it's actually come up not bad. It's got some interesting to this. But again, if you're going for some realism, you maybe put your bunny on fire or do some other crazy stuff. So overall, this is kind of my view on the with strings, and have a string and weaknesses of the MidJourney. I see some people have a very good success with creating portraits and other things. I did try it, like for example, this was with the reference of the image, and you remember I showed you the image before, so I put this image inside as a reference and try to create it. So, and this is what come up with as a reference to that specific image. However, that you can try it and see what other people does, but again, it's a random generated seed, and sometimes you maybe succeed, sometimes maybe not. By the way, this is a Winnie the Pooh, supposed to be as a Terminator, Saber killer, whatever machine as Winnie the Pooh. So it is kind of does very interesting things. Of course, some elements you can see some recognizable elements, but they're more abstract based. But again, if you look on the street, it's what I was saying. Look on this beautiful street in the back. So it does very good with architectural, with the straight lines, with all this stuff. It does struggle anytime when you try with a face or some creating animals or other things in this case. Okay, so another things what I recommend to you to do, to mix different styles, and it's actually where the MidJourney perform very good. Example right here, I just typed this style. I said Russian Aztec city. So, and it's actually take some of the colors or whatever in Russia and try to blend with Aztec city. So it's kind of very unusual, interesting things we can create this way. Of course, if you like more in fantasy, stars, all this stuff, the MidJourney will create very beautiful. It can be as art itself, or again, for me, I'm looking just used as a backdrops or other things in my work. When you try to again create the people, you can see is abstract. It's try to create it, and but overall it is a style, so you can recognize maybe as a figurines, whatever. But it does work. The other things, again, let's look again what we have next. Right here, you can recognize some people in this abstract, but overall they are very abstract created. Creating a specific settings, like right here I tried to create with a Barocco, and I think it was a Rococo Barocco style inside the ballroom, whatever. So it does try to create it. Obviously, if we look a little bit closer in details, you can see this total abstract, total great non-realistic, but it is may work again for the backdrop. Planets, alien planets, they work always very good. You can try play around creating with those planets. Styles of the painting, and this was specified with the like oil painting and other things. They are come up nicely. I found many times would have a problem right here. You can see it is sky doubling something, so it does not distinguish as one whole. It's maybe separated. And notice as well, when I'm created it, some of them landscape or portrait mode, I like a little bit better that format. Another things you can also render, it is creating like a background creepy areas, like inside the house, inside other things. So let's look again, and as I'm scrolling, I'm going back to my people, and you can see right here was trying to create some Rococo style steampunk or cyberpunk. I think it's a Rococo style cyberpunk. And you can see what we come up. Again, this is what specified as symmetrical, and then somewhat symmetrical, but we always will have a problem with the eyes most time, nose, lips. You can see it's as a concept, maybe a startup point for you as an artist. It's can give it very well, but generally it's a very mess up. You know, if you see these people walking on the middle of the street, you may call for the help or some other things to you as well. So that is a problem with faces. And this is another face. This is a very common problem I found, like this cyberpunk face, right? And you can see the second creating down. It's happened when you have it like portrait mode. It's happened very often. When you do the square, mostly I found it does not happen. So in this case, you expect ratio. If you want to work on a portraits, try not to give it too much stretch, because you end up to have, again, double faces or very long necks, or other elements will come up in these cases. Okay, and again, landscapes, they always look nice, tilt and shift, or painting like old style painter. So you can see right here, it's actually come up very nice clouds, all the elements. The clouds, again, it's kind of hit miss how you specify, but overall you can find very nice algorithms to do this. And Western cities work as well. And in some cases, you can look on specific styles of the people. If you go on Google and you type Norman Rockwell and see if you like his style, and you can apply then this style to what you're creating. Okay, so I think this is a little bit steampunkish after going, or gear work, steampunk, it's what it says. You can create some machinery, interesting look. Again, very, very abstract by itself, so it does not really represent like a train or other things, but it's very beautiful to use it on the backdrops for the compositing works or other things, and sometimes just interesting to look. Overall, I found it's very fun to kind of experiment to creating a different type environment to different, and see how they will work. By the way, I mentioned another video before between different resolutions, and just to emphasize this again, this is normal resolution, this is upscale to max resolution, and you can see some details was added, like mostly in the trees. You can see quality of the trees before and after. Okay, so it is have better processing, better on the detailizations, but sometimes you don't need it if you don't care too much, if you're using on a backdrop, so you don't really worry about that. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed and like it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, put notifications. It's helped me to promote this video. From this point, you know, if you want it, go ahead, try to create something new. Create like these alien worlds, you know, just different colors, different things, or cyberpunk, try different. They actually come up very good, so you can play around, see what is MidJourney will create it for you. If you have any suggestions, recommendations, please give it comment. Let me know what you're thinking about this or what you're going to create. And again, thank you for watching this video and for your support.